We're recording. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this Wednesday's 10-minute burst of innovation. Thank you all for being here. I can't thank you enough for joining me week after week. We have so many people on these calls. We keep growing. It's such an honor to be able to spread innovation, to ignite innovation in all our work, and to pivot and run when we need to. Today's is actually somewhat personal for me because it came from a lesson of hard knocks. And I want to share a story with where this came from. And then I want to explain to you one of the methods that I learned that I use over and over again. In fact, I just used this morning that really work in getting buy-in for your ideas. You know, I think we spend a lot of time talking about how to be more innovative, but we also need to spend more time talking about how to then get buy-in for those ideas, how to get buy-in from those key decision makers that matter so that we can move our ideas forward. The reality is we don't innovate in a vacuum. We don't work in a vacuum. So we need others to help implement, to help get buy-in, to help get resources, to help think things through. There's so much power and diversity of thinking as well, as you all know. So I've got one tool for you today, one key change in your language actually, that's going to help you get buy-in. It is going to change the game. It's the secret sauce. Like I said, I know because I've done this a million times. So let me share with you where this came from. So years ago, I was hired by a global baby care company to reinvent baby care. And at that time, baby care had not seen innovation in years. So it was my team's job to come up with a range of new product ideas that would take them into the future. And we played with toys, we checked out formula, we talked to dads, which at that point was the first time in the company history. And in about 6 months of work with my amazing A team of innovators, we came up with a range of products close in and far out that we thought were game changing. I mean, we had ones that utilized their line and kind of some existing products or ideas. We had ones that would stretch them into, into buying or acquiring new ideas into new markets. So we go for the big meeting and we shuffle into the CEO's conference room. And I'm sure you've seen the one or been in one where it had this wood table that covered most of the room, and then these pastel chairs that kind of squeaked, and on the wall was oil paintings of CEOs past, and none of them were smiling at us. So the room was a little bit intimidating, and my team and I are standing at the podium, and I look out at the table, and it's every mucky muck from the organization. To my right is my client, who I've been working with for 6 months. Right next to him is his boss, and then it's, the VP of this department, the head of that department. They're all there. And my team is going through the ideas, presenting them on their beautiful PowerPoint presentation that they spent hours upon hours creating. And I'm like a mama bear. I am beaming with pride. But as my team's going through these ideas, I start to hear whispering. And I look over and it's whispering on my right. And it's not my client, it's his boss. Now, here's the thing about him. I actually don't remember his name, but what I can tell you is that he had a mustache so big that it moved when he spoke. So with every word, I heard it coming out. And with every idea, he would say things like, didn't we already try that and we killed it? Didn't another consultant give us and we shelved it? Didn't so-and-so in R&D try that and we decided it was no-go? Didn't a competitor look into that and then failed? Didn't we think that was a good idea and then shelved it halfway? He squashed the life out of every single idea. I'm sure you've been in those meetings where you're over there with your beautiful presentation and your brilliant ideas, and you can't understand why the people on the other side of the table don't get it. So that was a long plane ride home that day. I was from the East Coast back to Denver, and I went through the 12 steps of rage. Actually, I think I started at 7. It started with, why did they hire us if they don't want to listen to us, right? And then I moved on to Mustache Man, and I was like, how dare he? If he doesn't understand or can't see brilliant ideas right in front of him, he shouldn't be working at the company. And you know what, when I got off this plane, I'm going to call him and I'm going to tell him he should be fired. And then I went on to my poor client. I was like, well, clearly if he can't get buy-in from his own internal team, he shouldn't lead innovation projects. When I got off this plane, I'm going to call him and tell him he should be fired. And then I went on to my poor team. I was like, oh my gosh, I do not have the best team. They did not come up with the best ideas. They've snowed one over on me. When I get off this plane, I'm firing them before I get to baggage claim. Fortunately for everybody, by the time I landed back in Denver, I realized who was really at fault. It was me. Here's what happened. We shuffled into that room, and I expected everybody on that in that room at that table to get it, especially Mustache Man Tracy. I know you love him. Should put it down in the chat bar, right? So we created this beautiful PowerPoint presentation, and we expected everybody to get it, that the idea should live on their own. But here's the thing. The people on the other side of the table don't get it. They haven't been steeped in the work and the ideas and pushing boundaries and thinking about things the way you have nonstop. They're coming in cold, and here I was pushing my brilliance onto people. People do not like brilliance pushed onto them. On top of it, Mustache Man taught me the most important lesson that led to the language change, the tool, part of the 3-part method that's actually in my book that I'm going to give to you right now. Let me show you what happens. So I'm going to use this water bottle, okay? Just a basic water bottle. So normally, let's say I have an idea for the water bottle, and I come to all of you, all like 45 of you on this call, and I say, hey, guys, look, I have this idea for a water bottle. I've got a beautiful PowerPoint presentation, and let me just tell you, it heats up when it's too cold, it cools down when it's too hot, and oh, by the way, it has a thumbprint reader, so it knows what vitamins you need, and then it automatically drops them into the water. What do you think? How many times have we ended a presentation for an idea with, what do you think? Now, you're all virtual here, but I'm pretty sure you're all going, I don't know about that, Tamara. Maybe one of you are going, oh, that's an interesting idea. Here's what happens. When we present ideas like this, when we end our statements with, what do you think? Open for questions, any feedback, what we're actually doing is forcing people into an up or down vote for either love it or you hate it. Those are really the 2 options I'm giving you. And the challenge is, we as humans, we're gonna hate it. It is our nature to poke holes in things to see why things won't work. I know you've experienced that with your team and with your leaders before. So what Mustache Man taught me, what I want to teach you, and I hope you take notes and write these down, is if you change your language, you change your outcomes. If you change how you present your innovation, you can change the buy-in that you get on the other side. You can increase the buy-in that you get on the other side. So here's what I'd like you to do next time. So let's just use this water bottle as an example. So you're presenting your idea, right? Here's my water bottle, heat up, cool down, thumbprint. What would you do to strengthen this idea? Do you see what happens there? When I do this live with people, I can see the wheels turning. Sometimes when I do this internally with clients, the chat bar lights up with ideas of like, oh, tomorrow I would make it a no-spill lid and blah, blah, blah. What would you do to strengthen the idea? Now I've got your wheels turning. Now I'm inviting you along for the conversation. So instead of just asking you, what do you think? I'm asking you to make the idea stronger with me. We cannot innovate alone. It is really egocentric of us to think that we have all the answers. We don't. And we don't want ideas pushed on us. Neither do the people on the other side of the table. We got to build them in. So here's a couple other ways that I've heard really work. So here's my idea. How would you strengthen it? The second one is, here's my idea. What does it need to include to work? Let them tell you. They will, especially if you're presenting to clients or to leaders. Now, sometimes like our little primal brain speaks up and goes, no, you need to have all the answers. Don't ask them what will make it work. You should know that. That's not the reality. So I was mentioning earlier that I was using this morning. So this morning I was having a conversation with a potential client. I was sharing with them a series of 6 e-sessions, so 30-minute webcasts on a lot of different innovation topics, like digging deep into jumping the curb, how to turn obstacles into innovation. So all of this, I know the content is good. I know it's going to help their team, but I didn't end the conversation with, what do you think? I ended it with, hey, what does it need to include to work for your team? And he told me some things that actually totally lit up and had us add a couple more pieces of topic to it that I wouldn't have thought of before. And I got buy-in for the idea, and we're moving forward. So do you see my point? If I just said, what do you think? He would have shut down, because I said, hey, what would you do to strengthen it? You know your job, you know your people in your industry, tell me, right? Now his wheels are turning. Now, yes, the light bulbs are going off. Even the lizard brain is lit up. Yes, Kirby, exactly. This gets you thinking. Now, this is my favorite one, particularly for the ones who poke holes in everything, no matter what. It's always yes, but, right? And I know that because I used to be married to one. And I'd come home and I'd be like, hey, babe, I have the best idea. And he'd be like, boo, 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 boo. But here's the thing. What I've come to realize is that you need those people because they see the holes that we don't see. So for people like that, the super analytical yes butters, I like to say to them, hey, here's my idea. What holes do you see and how would you fill it? Let them tell you. Let them express the holes in a positive way, like you're glad they found them, because you should be. And how would you fill them? Get their wheels turning. All right, I got one last bonus one for you that was brought up to me because I think it's so important. I was sharing this in a virtual presentation, actually, and someone pinged in the chat bar, what do I do if my boss always uses price as an excuse? We can't afford it. It will cost too much, right? That's they're out of the gate before they even get it forward. What I said to them is, present the idea, right? Here's the water bottle. And then to them, you say, what does it need to include to be worthy of moving forward? What does it need to include to be worthy of resources? That's simple. All right. That is the language of innovation. As I said, it's actually 3 parts in the book, but this one to me is so powerful that I wanted to give it to you right now. Tell me, which one are you going to use? Put it in the chat bar. What would you do to strengthen it? What does it need to include to be a yes? What does it need to include to work? What holes do you see and how would you fill it? And that last one is like, what does it need to include to be worthy of resources? So simple, yet so effective. If you change your language, you change your outcome. All right, Cheryl says, what would you do to strengthen this idea? Yeah, let them help you make it better. And if they say nothing, be like, really, come on, there's gotta be something, right? People sometimes need a chance to process. But what's most powerful about all this is it puts you in a place where they are on board with the journey with you. You're not pushing on them. You're not putting them into an up or down vote. You're getting them on board for the conversation. Kirby says, what holes do you see and how would you fill it? Yeah, Kirby, great with a group of engineers, right? So Carolyn said that one too. Paul says, what does it need to move forward and what would you do to strengthen it? Right. What does it need to include to move forward? What a great one, Paul. I'm glad. I like the way you said that about moving forward, because oftentimes what we really need to get out of people isn't like the total yes, like everything's a go. Sometimes what we really just need is, how do we get to the next step, right? How do we just go one step further? So what do we need to include to move it forward? I love it. All right. As always, thank you for the participation. You all have been amazing. Can't wait to hear how this impacted. I love Mustache Man. If any of you know him, please give him a thank you for me. I've never seen him again, but he's made a big impression on me. All right. Kirby, thank you. I'm glad you thought this was a great session. I appreciate it. And Carol, thank you too. This was really eye-opening. Good. Awesome. Yeah. We'll talk again about getting buy-in for your ideas, because it's equally important. We don't spend enough time doing it. All right. Have an awesome Wednesday. Put this into action. Let me know how it goes.